NFL draft showed off our city. How leaders are looking ahead to keep out-of-towners coming to the CLE.
Those that win, get up, get out, and get after it.
Thinking outside the box. Meet the local veteran turned DJ and caterer. The creative ways he kept his business afloat during the pandemic and tips to help grow your business now.
New wedding trends. Virtual weddings aren't going anywhere. Dress codes are relaxing, and good luck finding a venue. We have everything you need to know about the upcoming wedding season. What's new starts right now.
And now, live from WKYC Studios, this is What's New.
Oh, what a difference a day can make. Not only in the weather outside, but the weather inside as well. Yesterday we were saying how warm and how muggy it was in the studio. Yeah. Today it's like we have stepped into the Arctic.
Can you see our breath? You could hang meat in here today.
It is a little chilly, definitely. The hands are a little cold. But you know what? It's Wednesday. We have 2 more days until the weekend. We are just happy to be dry here inside Studio A and the 3 News Weather Center and all that good stuff. But anywho, I'm Betsy Kling alongside Jay Crawford. Thank you so much for staying with us.
Yeah, Betsy, a very good afternoon to you. Thank you to everyone at home for choosing What's New.
Well, we are going to get started with Ohio voters who hit the polls in our state's primary election yesterday, and a big item was school levies. Ohio voters approved 50 of the 73 school tax issues statewide, but specifically here in Northeast Ohio, it was a very different story. 12 levies passed, 12 levies failed. Our Romney Smith joins us live from North Olmsted, where voters struck down their levy. Romney, voters spoke loud and clear.
They sure did, Betsy. I'm here in North Olmsted, and of the people who went out to vote yesterday, 72% voted down that school levy, which translates into $7.2 million a year of lost money. Now, I spoke with the superintendent earlier today, and he says although it's an issue and that money was needed, that now he has to work with the school board to determine the next steps and the direct impact to the school system. Keep in mind, over the last 10 to 15 years, this school system has already lost upwards of $22 million from state and federal money. So they've been tightening the budget all along for years.
We've reduced 69 positions through the course of these last 10 years. So, but that has consequences. And so there are some areas in our system where class sizes have grown. We want to bring those class sizes back into a reasonable teacher-student ratio.
In order to maintain lower class sizes, academic and extracurricular programming, they need the right people. But of course, salaries and benefits make up the bulk of the budget because that's what people need, and that's in where the challenge lies. Now, like you said at the very beginning, North Olmsted is one of 12 school districts that did not pass their levy. We will speak with another school district coming up at 6 about their next steps for funding and also why they believe COVID may be partly to blame.
Certainly puts a lot more pressure on those November elections too, Romney. Thank you so much for the update. Jay?
Well, now on your feet at 5, Governor Mike DeWine visiting Cleveland late this afternoon as part of his tour for Ohio Tourism Day. Within the last hour, he spoke at the Cleveland Museum of Natural History, where he said Ohioans are ready to get out again.
He thinks this summer is going to be a strong one for Northeast Ohio.
People are just excited, very, very excited to get back to normal. And there's this pent-up desire to go see things and do things. Tourism is a big business. Tourism is essential, very, very important to the state. And nowhere is it more important than in our North Coast, where people come to fish, they come to walk, hike, they come to sail, they come just to have fun. And this summer, I think, is going to be better than any summer that we've ever seen. I think there's just...
Well, the governor added that half of Ohio adults have been vaccinated against COVID, which could lead to an exciting summer. Now, it's also interesting to note that at the same time that medical research and advances are moving forward at record speed, the pandemic has put a significant burden on healthcare professionals, many of whom are experiencing exhaustion and burnout. There have been many changes, as we all know, since the early chaos of the pandemic, changes in rules and treatment and basic information even, and that has some patients and their families questioning the care they received. Now they're reaching out to attorneys to ask about medical malpractice, but there is some advice to heed.
In the pandemic, especially now, I'm getting a lot of calls about people who aren't being kept up to date with their loved one's medical care and treatment. That stinks. It shouldn't happen. It's bad practice. It's not a malpractice case unless, as a result, somebody is significantly injured.
Well, on this week's podcast, Health Yeah, with Monica Robbins, she discusses what you need to know about types of malpractice claims, how you know if you might have a case, and how you can prevent accidents by being your own best patient advocate. Download and subscribe to the Health Yeah podcast with Monica Robbins wherever you get your podcasts.
Well, way back when the pandemic first began, some felt it would lead to a baby boom. You know, all the extra free time at home. Turns out the exact opposite happened. According to the CDC, the birth rate declined for the 6th straight year here in the U.S. in the year 2020. It's believed COVID-19 was a contributing factor leading to families holding off on having kids. The numbers are stark. Births down a remarkable 4% in 1 year from 2019 to 2020, with 3.6 million babies born in the U.S. December, the worst month of all. Births dropped a whopping 8% from the previous December. These are huge drops. Researchers say these numbers indicate the U.S. continues to be at below replacement levels. Betsy, the New York Times reported that the birth rate, and here's how you figure that, it's the number of babies per 1,000 women between the ages of 15 and 44, has fallen an incredible 19% since its peak in 2007. Here's another stat, and this one blows me away. In 1958, and many will remember that was the height of the baby boom, the average American woman could be expected, Betsy, to have 3.5 children. Mm-hmm. Today, that number is more than half reduced. 1.7 children per American woman. You know, lowest in history, by the way.
Well, you sit back and you think about this, you go, why? People are waiting longer. They get married later. They get their careers started and all that stuff. And, there's one thing that kind of snuck into my thinking, too, is it's a very interesting parallel in this that, I guess it's not really parallel. It's kind of perpendicular. Birth rate is going down, but college debt and debt coming out of college is going up. So a lot of these, birth age women may be going, I don't have the money to have a kid right now. And that's one of the reasons they're putting it off. Just my 2 cents. But no, it's an interesting.
Experts agree with you, Bets. Economy is a huge driver when it comes to birth rate. And we're seeing that in the U.S. Uncertainty with the pandemic led to more couples holding off. We'll see what happens in the years to come. Well, today, as you may know, is Cinco de Mayo. And in America, that means indulging in your favorite Mexican foods. But that's really not what this day is about. Many believe it's to celebrate Mexico's independence. That's not what it's about either. That day is actually September 16th, the equivalent of our July 4th. Today really commemorates Mexico's victory over French forces on May the 5th, 1862. The Battle of Puebla happened more than 50 years after Mexico declared its independence. Betsy Britannica claims that the holiday didn't really reach a broader demographic until, wait for it, it was linked to the promotion of Mexican alcoholic drinks.
No.
Shocking, right?
I just never would have guessed that. All right, so if you are going to be enjoying a burrito, taco, margarita, just remember you're celebrating the win of a battle in Mexico, not its independence.
Yeah, that's key to remember. At my house, we always celebrate Taco Tuesday every week. It's a big deal. Big deal. We actually moved it from Taco Tuesday to today because it's Cinco de Mayo.
It only makes sense.
Yeah, it works perfectly. Well, it is National Teacher Appreciation Week, and today we want to honor one of the amazing teachers in our community.
In a year that has been mostly virtual, we caught up with a teacher at Cleveland's Arts and Social Sciences Academy who has gone above and beyond to stay connected with her students. Austin Love has her story.
It's your typical day at the Cleveland Arts and Social Sciences Academy.
Upstairs.
Well, typical for 2021. That's Mrs. Lenora Cruz Price, virtually leading her middle schoolers.
So we're all growing, connecting, because it's been a rough year.
A tough year, but thankfully, Mrs. Cruz Price is anything but your ordinary teacher.
I think she's what great teachers are.
A dedicated teacher who invests not only in her students' education, but in their lives too.
Students need to know that they have someone they can reach out 24/7. So am I just their teacher? I don't know, but I know that I am here for them, and they know that.
Tyvez Jones has felt the impact of having Mrs. Cruz Price as his teacher.
She does a lot of things for us that she doesn't have to do and goes out of the way and over extraordinary boundaries for us.
Being virtual for the past year, Mrs. Cruz Price looked for a way to better connect with her students and help them engage in learning.
Education is like a bank account. The more you deposit now, the more you can withdraw earlier.
So she put her money where her mouth is, investing her own money to buy each of her students seeds and soil so they could grow their own fruits and vegetables.
It has definitely brought life, literally brought life.
Being National Teacher Appreciation Week, we want to thank you so much for everything that you do in the classroom. On behalf of Channel 3 and also our friends at Peter & Company Jewelers in Avon Lake, we're awarding you with a $100 Visa gift card. So use it however you want, and it's just a big thank you for everything you've done. So do not spend it on your classroom. This is just for you.
Oh no, I don't know about that. We need some more plant kits, so I don't know. Okay.
A deserving teacher who continues to invest in the future, making sure her students continue to grow.
Wow. Austin, thanks. Great story. And thanks to Mrs. Cruz Price for her work. Betsy, it's so interesting when you see a teacher like that. You can tell in a minute that she exudes passion. And that passion is obviously, as we saw from one of her students, absorbed by her students.
Yep.
It's just taking charge and having interest in what it is you're doing. It makes a difference.
And she engages her students, and those students buckle down, get the work done, and look at all those veggie plants that are going now. That's so
right?
cool. I mean, that's a really important lesson to learn, where your food comes from.
Absolutely.
You can tie in all kinds of stuff with STEM, of course. You know, I'm a little STEM person, but it's just really neat. And that's just another teacher who puts her students before herself.
We talked yesterday on the show about teachers we remember from 30 and 40 years ago. 30 and 40 years from now, there will be students talking about their teacher.
You know it. That's
she's wonderful. All right, ahead on What's New. A local veteran found a way to grow his business when the pandemic put a halt to his career. It's a really interesting story, and it's motivating for all of us, and we'll hear his story next.
And in other news, Ariana Grande is speaking out about mental health. She's got a message that she's sharing to try and stop the stigma. That's ahead in Pop Break.
And Matt, another dreary day in the CLE. When might we see and feel the warmth of that big ball of fire in the sky again?
Well, Jay, I just wanted to wish you a happy Thanksgiving coming up short. Well, it's not November. I'm sorry. I was looking at the sky cam there. We will be out of this before we know it, but that's really the thing we're searching for in your next 7 days will be some sunshine, and we do have it, I promise. Warmer temperatures, not so much tonight. We're in the 40s right now, a good night to dine inside, but things will change, as always, here in Cleveland. We'll bring you that forecast coming up.
In today's segment of Your New Job, we're sharing a success story of a veteran who left active duty to start his own business when the pandemic shut him down. In true Marine fashion, he improvised, he adapted, and he overcame. And as Danielle Serino tells us, Cinco de Mayo is the perfect opportunity to tell his story.
Just follow after me.
Hard to imagine a combat veteran hired to lead the get up at a wedding, but for James Heido and his partner John, this was big business, especially since just a few years earlier, James was DJing at local bars for $100 a night while getting a business degree during the day at CSU.
Now we offer, DJ services and MC services, your dance floor lighting, your event lighting, your interactive photo booths. Some of those weddings could range from $1,000 to, a couple $1,000 easily.
But then the pandemic hit. No large gatherings and definitely no weddings.
Our concern was, how do we stay relevant in an industry that is 100% shut down? I had no way of earning revenue, bringing in revenue to buy food for our table, the whole 9 yards.
But as fighters do when life closes a door, he breached the wall and walked in like a boss. First, hosting Music Bingo on Facebook, where he and his partner gave out gift cards to winners who left positive reviews on their company website. Then, meeting with potential brides online instead of just showing a demo.
But it was a good way for us to stay interactive, keep people top of mind. At the end of the day, when somebody wants to interact with whom their potential DJ could be for their wedding, what better way than me showing you live interactive sets that you can interact with us.
All things that job coaches suggest people who took a pandemic hit should do.
You have to really be able to think outside the box. Don't be just going for one thing.
So with COVID leading to more carry-out food, James cooked up another idea. Buy a food truck to bring to different locations while riding out the pandemic. Then add that to the menu of his entertainment company when weddings resumed.
So now I can bundle all of your entertainment plus all your mobile catering at any location you want together. And that now bundle just turned into a very significant dollar amount in comparison to what we were offering.
Barra de Taco had its sold-out soft opening on a Tuesday last month.
You know what that means. Ladies and gentlemen, freaking Taco Tuesday!
They've already started catering events, hit multiple spots for Cinco de Mayo, and are booking weddings with their food.
You already know. Let's go.
Not the battle plan he expected.
Those that win, get up, get out, and get after it.
But one which helped this Marine survive. Danielle Serino, 3 News.
That's some good stuff right there.
I love it.
+1 for consistency, right? The forecast seems like it's been consistent. At least we've had the clouds around. Yesterday, we hit 72 degrees in the CLE. Today, the preliminary climate report says 49 was the high temperature. If you would note earlier in the show, Romney Smith was wearing a parka. She was also wearing a parka yesterday when it was 72 degrees.
Yeah, but why? I saw her with the parka yesterday, and I'm like, wait, Romney, really?
Oh, no. She likes it hot, and she's going to make her own heat if she can't get it hot. I just thought that was hysterical.
I need a space heater right about where my feet are right now. That would work well. Hey, Matt, your weather word today, and it was inspired off the piece we just saw, pivot. I think that guy with his business, aside from being incredibly pliable and able to change on the fly, he made a successful career pivot. So there's your word, pivot.
Mm-hmm. He definitely did. I'm so glad it's cold and kind of raw in the studio because now you guys have a nice feel for what it feels like here in the basement every single day. I asked my wife to turn up the heat. It doesn't get down here for some reason. So anyway, you guys enjoy yourself there. Romney had the right idea all along. Temperatures today, as Betsy mentioned, preliminarily 49 degrees. And you see most of us in the 40s right now. If you want to escape the cold, head down towards Dover right now, sitting at a whopping 50. We've got the clouds. They are locked in. Clouds versus sun this time of year makes such a difference. That strong May sun can heat us up pretty nicely, right? But when you don't have it, you have drizzle and areas of even some fog at times around that really prevents that sun from heating anything. But look at this. Off towards the west, Indiana, Chicago, clear skies, right? Come on over. Oh, as we zoom on out, there's a system right behind it. This is a very fast-moving system that'll be in here by tomorrow afternoon, tomorrow evening with some rain. Behind that, more instability and more chilly temperatures off towards the northwest. The pattern really just sets this up. You can see we've got the big ridge, everything kind of flowing up over the western U.S. What comes up must come down, and you can see everything kind of carving out. So we take Canadian air and we bring it south, and we're not alone. It's pretty much the entire eastern half of the country. This is departure versus average in terms of temperatures. I'm going to let it run through the weekend and next week. All the blues indicate below average high temperatures, and that's where we're going to sit as this pattern remains locked in place. Will it break? Sure. It has to, right? But overall, it looks like this pattern not going to pivot anytime soon. The next 12 hours tonight, we start to clear those skies out. I wore socks today. We clear those skies out tonight. May have some patchy frost out east if we can clear those skies out. Other thing we'll need to watch for, perhaps a little fog, especially with some of that moisture in some of those low-lying locations. National Design Mart Hour by Hour forecast has clear skies by 11. I don't know if I agree with that, but man versus model here. You can see tomorrow morning we start on the chilly side. We will increase clouds throughout tomorrow. I do think we see some sun earlier in the day though, and then the rain will hold off probably until just before rush hour off towards the west. This will just be some showers, some heavier downpours at times, and that will reinforce our chillier air on Friday. Friday we start dry, but then we bring in another week low, and that could kick up some showers again. Union Home Mortgage 7-day, 58 tomorrow. We cool down with showers around on Friday. The weekend looking good outside of some Saturday morning showers, and we're going to have to keep an eye, and I'll take a closer look on that Mother's Day system on Sunday in the next half hour, but it does look like we could be bringing more rain back into the area. Betsy?
We would just be happy with average at this point, and we are not anywhere near average, so little baby steps, Matt. All right, we'll catch up with you again in about a half hour or so. In the meantime, next on What's New, getting back into the groove. We told you how Will Smith said he's in the worst shape of his life, but today we have the details of how he's tackling his fitness journey. That's next in Pop Break.
Knowing Will, he'll be a picture of health in 2 weeks. Then this looks like a typical day with dad and baby having a snack, right? But what comes next? No one expected. I promise it's going to make you laugh. We'll show you what baby AJ says in our Worth the Watch.
Oh, my. In today's pop break, Ariana Grande shares a message about mental health. Two big named entertainers are prioritizing fitness, and a new romantic drama is coming to Netflix. Here's Kiara Cotton with all the details.
May is Mental Health Awareness Month, and Ariana Grande has a message for those who may need help. Taking to Instagram, the Position singer reposted several slides from So You Want to Talk About, providing mental health resources based on specific needs. Ariana captioned the slide saying, "Here's to ending the stigma around mental health and normalizing asking for help. The work is so hard, but we are capable and worth it. Sending so much love and strength." And speaking of strength, Elton John says he's in the best shape of his life. In a recent interview, the 74-year-old revealed that he's used the pandemic to take control of his health, and that meant getting a nutritionist and getting active. In the interview, John said, "I'm probably the fittest I've been in a long, long time, and I feel great." Someone else taking charge of their health? Actor Will Smith. After revealing that he's in the worst shape of his life, the father of three plans to document his fitness journey in a new YouTube series. The 6-part unscripted docuseries titled Best Shape of My Life will premiere next year. Shailene Woodley and Felicity Jones are bringing back handwritten letters in a new romantic drama for Netflix. The official trailer for The Last Letter from Your Lover was released yesterday and definitely pulls at the heartstrings. Taking place in two different eras, the movie tells the story of a woman who falls for the journalist assigned to profile her husband. Fueling an affair, the two keep in touch with letters until they don't. Years later, Jones's character finds the letters and sets out to see whether the two ended up together. The Last Letter from Your Lover arrives on Netflix July 23rd. You know, Elton John and Will Smith have really inspired me to get active. So I'm going to send it back to you guys while I get this at-home workout in.
Oh. Go, girl.
All right, very good, Kiara, looking good. Time now for our Worth the Watch. And we know babies can be super silly at times, but for one mom and dad, their son's first time saying mama, well, just listen.
AJ, come to see mama. Mama. Mama.
So I'm a little concerned that kid may have a deep voice.
Oh my gosh. That's amazing.
Mama. It's actually scary a little bit.
Yeah.
You know, you expect that cute, sweet, my granddaughter, Hayes, is just now talking. Cutest voice ever. That baby's cute, but the voice is a little scary.
Oh my goodness, he's more like Darth Vader than a little baby. But
exactly.
Something good for us all to watch. Oh, that was good stuff. All right, well, as wedding season inches closer for everybody, more and more couples are keeping it simple. Coming up, we have some changes that have been caused by the pandemic that could be here to stay when saying I do.
And bringing East Coast style pizza to one local city. A first look at how owners who first started with a business truck, it was a little pizza truck, turned it into a brand new pizzeria.
And now, live from WKYC Studios, this is What's New.
And we'd like to welcome you into the second half hour of What's New, along with Betsy Kling. I'm Jay Crawford. Thanks so much for being with us on this gloomy Wednesday. So, Bets, I opened up our 3 News weather app earlier today. I looked at it for about 2 seconds, and I immediately closed it in anger.
Anger?
Anger, Bets. Oh. Now, not, I wasn't mad at you or Matt or the great weather team.
Right.
Just the circumstances. We're in May. This is where you really start to move your life outdoors. It's not happening, and I'm not happy about it.
Today is Cinco de Mayo. It's May 5th.
Right, May 5th. It snowed last May 11th.
May 11th last year it snowed, so let's kind of frame it all out. We really don't make the turn.
And we did have 80s like in March, so.
I think we had 80s like last week, so
it comes and goes.
It comes at you quick, right?
Yes, it does.
Well, let's get this half hour started with 3 things you need to know. Facebook's oversight board upheld its decision to suspend 2 of former President Donald Trump's social media accounts. Facebook and Instagram silenced him on January 7th, the day after the deadly attack on the U.S. Capitol. Facebook says he incited the violence and that they would suspend his accounts through at least the end of his presidency. Now, the board did not agree with the indefinite time frame of the suspensions and said Facebook is, quote, avoiding its responsibilities by kicking the case to the board. It's giving Facebook 6 months to produce a response consistent with those applied to other Facebook users.
Betsy, our COVID numbers once again come in below our 14-day average. Ohio reporting 1,450 new cases of coronavirus. That's 7 cases below our rolling 14-day average, which went down another 20 cases today. It's now at 1,457. Also down our cases per 100,000. It's just steadily going in the right direction. Now it's estimated to be at 138.9 cases per 100,000 Ohio residents. And our vaccine count up just 21,000 from yesterday's number. That number has really, really slowed down. 4.75 million Ohioans are now vaccinated. That is 40.7% of our state's population.
And we have some good news for moviegoers. Regal Cinemas announced that their Willoughby Commons and Crocker Park locations will reopen on Friday. It's the first time in 14 months that they will be welcoming guests in. Some of the first films to be shown in the coming weeks include Guy Ritchie's Wrath of Man, Mortal Kombat, and the ever-popular Godzilla vs. Kong. Go to WKYC.com for a full list of when other local Regal Cinemas will be opening. Well, the pandemic put a lot of weddings on hold, and those who didn't postpone their weddings just readjusted to make them COVID-friendly. Some of those changes, they're here to stay. In today's Top Talker, NBC's Vicki Nguyen shows us what to expect this upcoming wedding season.
A lot of invitations are starting to say yes, no, attending virtually.
Caroline Kreidenberg is the CEO of Wedfully.
You're like right in front of this camera right here.
Her company will handle everything from emceeing the wedding to setting up multiple cameras and making sure your big day goes off without a glitch. She says the pandemic has normalized weddings with a virtual component.
The wedding we did this summer, they had 5 people on site and 700 attending virtually. She always wanted intimate and he always wanted a huge blowout party. And this was the perfect marriage, no pun intended, of their needs and wants.
Does this mean maybe guests will also save money? They can be at weddings without having to be at the wedding?
Yes, 100%. This is way more affordable.
With virtual and scaled down celebrations in 2020, couples spent more on engagement rings and opted for more casual attire like jumpsuits and shorter hemlines, suits instead of tuxedos.
I think it'll be a shift that we see going forward. It's just permission to be able to wear what they want, wherever their wedding is taking place and whenever their wedding is taking place.
But experts say get ready for larger in-person celebrations. The centerpiece for 2021 weddings, vaccinations.
The vaccine rollout is actually giving couples optimism to have bigger guest lists again.
Jeffra Trumpauer is the senior creative director at Wedding Wire.
We're really going to see those weddings come back full swing starting around August.
In a recent poll, 16% of couples said they'll require vaccinations for guests.
Are we expecting a double wedding season? The weddings that got postponed or canceled and the normal course of weddings for this year?
Yes, we are definitely going to see a double wedding season.
She says guests can expect to see entertainment like performers in place of a dance floor, boxed appetizers instead of passed hors d'oeuvres, and plated meals versus buffets. For couples looking to have a wedding this year, experts say be flexible. Consider a weekday wedding. Communicate with vendors on safety protocols and cancellation fees. Book now. Some venues and wedding planners say dates are already filling up for 2022.
What we're hearing from not only couples, but guests is that they're actually so excited to get back into those big environments with friends and family and be able to celebrate.
Celebrate love. What better way to get out of a pandemic, right?
Exactly.
Interesting side note, I have had a lot more requests for weather forecasts for dates. Well beyond the 7 days ahead. They're like, oh, what's it like in May 2022? My daughter's getting married in October. Oh, all the time. But I've had more this year because people are trying to plan ahead for outdoor weddings. Please, please be nice to your meteorologist and know we do have some limitations and always have a tent available for outdoor weddings. Please.
May of 2022?
Oh, all the time. Yeah, it's interesting.
It's funny. I actually have received a wedding invite for a weekday in July.
Yeah.
Now, as for the virtual wedding, that would be a hard pass for me. The fun of weddings, it's socializing with different groups individually here, there. On a Zoom?
Yeah.
No way.
I know it's different, but keep in mind, it's still a way to stay connected. And there is a little etiquette, right? So mute yourself, obviously. Don't attend it from your car. You can dress up for the wedding. That's kind of nice because they will be seeing you. I'm sure it's being recorded. And then also keep your device steady. That really helps a lot. So anybody watching, it's not terribly distracting.
Avoid giving others motion sickness.
Yeah.
I'm going to pass on the virtual wedding. I'm sorry, it's not for me. Hey, did you know that today is Ohio Tourism Day? Coming up and clicking in Cleveland, we're hearing from some of you on your favorite spots around town.
Then Jay gives a special report. It's a first look at a new pizza place that recently opened up, their journey to making their dreams come true, and what sets them apart from other restaurants. And I know you're picky about pizza.
I really am. I'm definitely picky about my pizza. Save Our Sauce takes us to Asiatown, featuring Coco Bakery. We've actually featured them before, but good news, this sweet shop just announced it is expanding to Cleveland Heights as well. Coco is known for colorful fruit-topped cakes, as well as pastries, hot lunches, and delicious bubble tea. For a list of other great bakeries in our area, check out Doug Trantner's guide on WKYC.com/SaveOurSauce. We'll be right back.
49. Matt wins. 49 is our preliminary high temperature for the day. Our average high temperature for the day is 68. We're 20 degrees below average, friend. Ouch.
Yeah, Betsy, you and I are always on the same page. I'm just going to get out of the way. This is my next graphic, actually, was 49.68 there. You already said it. It's fine. I'll just move on to the next one.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Great. But look at our low, Betsy. Our low is right around average, 46.48. We didn't move the needle much at all today. How about that? It's been as warm as 89, as cold as 30. What a mess, right? Betsy, I did some digging on the 49-degree day today, and going back all the May 5th since records began back in 1871. That's 150 years worth of records. This was only the 8th time out of 150 years that we failed to reach 50 degrees on this day, May 5th. So that's about 5% of the May 5ths are as chilly as this. But the good news is you got to bottom out somewhere, right? And we can only go up from here, right? Well, after tonight's cold, of course. We're in the 40s now, a couple 50s down to the south. The big reason for the chill is not just the air mass coming in, but the clouds that we've had. Some good news with it. The dew points, these have come way down. This measures how much moisture is in the air, and you knew how muggy it felt yesterday. We've gotten rid of that. So you go out for a run or a walk, you're not sweating at all, but we're still dealing with these thick clouds. Starting to see some lowering or some raising of the cloud heights back towards the Toledo area. Lake St. Clair up there getting some clearing skies. Also out towards Erie and northern Ashtabula County. We're going to clear things out hopefully tonight. I'm optimistic about that, but look at this. We've got the cooler air all the way down towards the Gulf Coast with that front that went by last night. But then off towards the west, you can see we get a little warming, right? That would be where we would recover, but it's quickly followed by more cool air. So we're going to continue these rounds of this reinforcing shots of cool air. We've also got some rain that'll move in here as quickly as tomorrow afternoon and evening. Very fast-moving pattern. This is what the radar will likely look like tomorrow evening. Kind of messy around here on Friday with some scattered showers around. Not a watch out either day, but still we have some rain. You can see as we go over tonight, we're expecting to clear things out. That's what models are saying. We may see a little frost in outlying locations, especially out east. And you can see as we look ahead with your National Design Mart forecast. I want to take this through Mother's Day because we're watching that next system push in. Here's the rain tomorrow, kind of messy around the Great Lakes on Friday with that cold air in place. Saturday, we clear that system out. Here comes our Mother's Day storm. This is a pretty potent area of low pressure. We're going to be on the colder side of this, so no severe weather threat. But look at this rain that establishes. This is a chunk of rain. Areas mainly down to the south, though. And again, depending on the track of this low, the GEM, which is the Canadian model, actually has this rain south of us. So it has this dry all Mother's Day. Most of the consensus, though, brings pretty decent rain in here Sunday and then very early Monday before we bring high pressure in. That high pressure will return us to some sunshine. In terms of rainfall, we'll keep an eye on this. We could use this. Maybe not on Mother's Day, but pretty good rain expected out of that system this upcoming weekend. Union Home Mortgage 7-day. There's the cooler air on Friday. Rain sticking around mainly early Saturday. The rest of Saturday looks good. There's your Mother's Day. And here's that high pressure next week. Some sunshine back into the 60s. We'll keep our fingers crossed on that, Jay. But overall, a very March-looking pattern around here. So hopefully we can break out of it.
Yep, feels a lot like March. All right, Matt, thank you very much. Right now, it's time to see what's clicking in Cleveland. For that, we bring in our digital anchor, Stephanie Haney. Stephanie, a very good afternoon to you. I'm looking forward to hearing what some of our viewers are saying about where their favorite tourism spots are around Cleveland.
Oh, so many great ones, Jay. I can't wait to share those. First, though, we're going to celebrate a huge accomplishment for a Newton Falls go-getter. This woman has lost 95 pounds in the last year. This is Shelly Tassine, and she says she struggled with her weight her whole life until the pandemic. She believes working from home and staying in helped her cut out distractions and make a major lifestyle change. She did it by cutting out processed foods and eating protein, veggies, and fruit. Now she wants to drop 5 more pounds and build up muscle. You got this, Shelly. All right, we did ask people at home, where are you taking visitors when they come to the land? Here's what we got. Eating and drinking, very popular move at our many breweries. Also, the very fancy Marble Room downtown. Now, for a uniquely Cleveland experience, you're getting on board something. I love the Lolly Trolley. It is the cutest thing. And of course, a good game is always a great time. And for more live entertainment, people are hitting up the Rock Hall, Playhouse Square, and Blossom. Okay, this is a wild one. It's not every day that an umpire admits to guessing at a bad call. Umpire Angel Hernandez said he was blinded by the scoreboard in last night's Tribe game against Kansas City. So that's why he called a catch that wasn't a catch. Now, Tito Francona was understandably frustrated, telling another outlet that he told Hernandez, "Why are we always having issues when you're here?" Now, if it had been called correctly, the Tribe would have had a chance to throw out a runner at third base. Now, the Tribe ended up winning, so it's all the same in the end, Jay and Betsy. But here's my thought on this. I'm no umpire, but if you don't see it, whether that's a catch or a foul or a penalty, I'm thinking you don't catch, you don't call it. You don't just guess at it. I don't know. That's just my thought.
Yeah, and there are other umpires on the field that weren't distracted by the scoreboard. And Tito's right. And Indians fans that follow the team closely will know. Angel Hernandez doesn't like the Indians. Ooh. I mean, for whatever reason, he has made a lot of calls that have gone against us that were bad calls.
Are they allowed to request a video review?
They are, but in that situation, it was a reaction play. So it was the play that could have come on the backside of that. And that's the thing so many times in baseball, a runner is either keeping a base or taking an extra base. And once the original call is made, you can't put that genie back in the bottle in terms of what would have happened.
Okay.
So it was just one of those things, unfortunate. And you're right, Steph. It didn't cost the Indians the game, which, by the way, the Tribe now just a game out of first place. There you go. Yeah. Steph, thanks. We'll see you tomorrow. Coming up next on What's New, if looking at images of delicious pizza starts making you thinking about eating delicious pizza, and Betsy and I are in on that, here's your warning. We're introducing you to Deloro's Pizza. That's next. They're What's New in food in the Chagrin Falls, Bainbridge area.
Then talk about luck. 2 rings and a wallet were on their way to a landfill when the owner realized they were missing. The very kind act from several garbage workers to find her stuff. We'll have that coming up.
Well, we already know Northeast Ohio is home to some pretty great pizza places, but there's always room for one more, right? I am a huge pizza junkie. I love it. And I met an area couple making some delicious slices in my neighborhood a couple of years ago. They were doing it out of a food truck, and I've followed them along the way as they've chased their lifelong dream of opening their very own pizzeria. I am thrilled now to share the magic of Pizzeria DeLoro with all of you. It's today's first look. What does it take to make the perfect pizza?
We use California tomato blended with a San Marzano tomato, Pecorino Romano, finished with Parmesan.
Is it a focus on quality products?
Make our meatballs in-house with beef and veal that we pick up twice a week from Heritage Meats in Middlefield. All our salads are done with Great Lakes Growers lettuce, the best stuff that you can buy.
Maybe the support of a strong family.
Adam's brother is a partner in our business as well. Adam's mother, she's on the front counter every single night we're open. She hasn't missed a day. His dad picks up bread for us. Twice a week. He makes cannolis. My mother is a huge part.
Or perhaps a love passed down through the generations.
It's my grandpa's recipe that we use. We've been making it since we were children.
Those essential ingredients all come together here at Pizzeria DeLoro, combining to make a pretty incredible slice.
Wow.
So incredible, in fact, owners Adam and Tiffany DeLoro say they're barely able to keep up with demand.
We have one oven. Our process is 2 people making pizza, 1 person working the oven, so you can only make so many pizzas. We do everything that we can out of here to get everybody pizza as much as possible.
The DeLoros started their pizza-making journey with a wood-fired oven and a truck. I met you guys probably 2 years ago. You were dripping pizza passion. Where does that come from?
This was probably a 10-year project for us, getting where we needed to be. Just did all the research we needed to do, contacted the people we needed to contact, and we
fell in love with it.
This spring, they opened their first restaurant here in Bainbridge. Right now, it's takeout only, but the DeLoros have big plans for the space.
We are putting in a bar and a lounge in the front space. So 12-person bar, couches, chairs, coffee tables.
We're really excited about the expansion. It was part of the plan from the beginning.
A passion and a dream on full display, along with their menu.
Yeah, we fall asleep talking about pizza in the shop and wake up talking about the shop.
We're risk takers, and it was all or nothing. This has been a dream of ours for so long, and we were ready to go for it.
And after smelling those pies baking, I was ready to go for it too.
We have our white pizza, fresh garlic we sliver right on top of the ricotta, and whole milk mozzarella, and then it gets extra virgin olive oil.
My goodness, that's great.
Classic cheese, fresh tomatoes and sea salt.
People think I make this up, but you can't eat a better pizza. Adam and Tiffany hope you agree, and that Pizzeria DeLoro is a Northeast Ohio staple for many years to come.
We're really, really happy and proud to be here and be a part of this community and want to for a long time to come.
It's about building, hopefully, a legacy for our family and our children. We're doing this for our children as well.
Just a wonderful family. I've enjoyed getting to know them through the years. And Bets, in all sincerity, it is the best pizza I've ever tried. I lived in the Northeast, on the Atlantic Seaboard, New York area, Connecticut for 15 years. And the distinction that has to be made is it's not New York style pizza. A lot of people think that it's New York style. It's just East Coast inspired. So it's a blend of Philly, a blend of New York, a little bit of Boston in there, some Connecticut, and it's just tremendous.
And topped with a little Chagrin Falls. And I was looking around to see where mine was because, of course, we do show and tell here. And I must be missing it unless you ate it.
I did.
I thought so.
2 weeks ago.
Guilty. Do they have focaccia pizza? That's the big question that's on my mind.
They don't, but they're going to add it soon. Hey, you asked me if they have a Mexican pizza. Is that what you asked me for, like
for Cinco de Mayo? I thought that'd be kind of festive.
Maybe next year on Cinco de Mayo they'll make one.
On focaccia. That'd be awesome. You're never going to live that down.
I don't like
Next
that.
on What's New. Imagine the panic when you realize your wallet and rings were tossed in the trash and picked up by the garbage crew. We're going to tell you what some workers went through to reunite a woman with her belongings. Now, if a ring looked like that, I'd go dig it in the trash, too.
I'd go in myself.
Then tonight on What Matters Most at 6, the creative ways that drug treatment centers have helped those in need during the pandemic and how it might be the key to helping more people once the pandemic is over. We'll be right back.
Hello. Hello. Thank you.
Well, this New Jersey mom is a very lucky woman. Ruth Watson Utley said her 10-year-old son threw away a grocery bag that had her wallet and 2 of her rings inside. All 3 items then hauled off to the landfill with her real garbage. Well, she called, got a hold of the trash company. The driver of the truck drove to a local landfill and dumped what was in his truck. And then for 90 minutes, he and 3 others searched through 10 tons of trash till they found her belongings. Some heroes don't wear capes.
Wow, that's
Those guys are
incredible. That's going above and beyond, and I'm glad she got her stuff back.
For sure.
We're out of time. Back tomorrow at 5. We'll see you then.
What matters most with Russ and Laura, with just Russ, starts right now.
Now at 6, school levy fails.
If we're not able to have the revenue, then we're going to need to cut back on those opportunities.